Welcome to Wisdom-Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2892 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. The title for Wisdom Trek is Praise in the Face of the Council, Uncompromising Worship Before the Gods. In our previous stop along this ancient winding trail, we sat in the mud and wept. We explored the devastating, emotionally raw territory of Psalm 137, where we found the broken exiles of Israel sitting beside the literal irrigation canals of Babylon. We witnessed them hanging their heavy, silent harps upon the branches of the poplar trees, absolutely refusing to perform the sacred, liturgical songs of Zion for the amusement of their cruel, mocking captors. We felt the intense, dark pressure of cosmic geography, realizing that they were trapped inside the very womb of the ancient serpent's rebellion, the territory of Babel, where the rebel spiritual principalities gloated over the apparent defeat of Yahweh's people. It was a season of deep, suffocating shadows and raw, agonizing cries for ultimate courtroom justice. But today, my friends, as we step forward onto a brand new path, the atmosphere completely transforms. We are stepping out of the Babylonian mud and climbing onto a soaring, sunlit ridge of faith. We are beginning a collection of 8 consecutive psalms explicitly attributed to King David, starting today with Psalm 138, verses 1 through 8 in the New Living Translation. David provides the ultimate defiant antidote to the silence of the exile. Instead of hanging his harp on a tree out of fear or sorrow, David grabs his instrument, stands tall in the celestial courtroom, and uses his music as an aggressive weapon of cosmic warfare. Let us step onto the trail, adjust our spiritual focus, and learn how to sing our songs of victory directly into the teeth of the enemy. The first segment is Cosmic Defiance in the Architecture of Grace. Psalm 138, verses 1, 2, and 3. I give you thanks, O Lord, with all my heart. I will sing your praises before the gods. I bow before your holy temple as I praise your name for your unfailing love and faithfulness, for your promises are backed by all the honor of your name. As soon as I pray, you answer me. You encourage me by giving me strength. The psalm explodes into reality with a breathtaking, uncompromised pledge of personal devotion. I give you thanks, O Lord, with all my heart. I will sing your praises before the gods. To fully appreciate the radical, countercultural nature of this opening stanza, we must look at it through the profound lens of the ancient Israelite Divine Council worldview as masterfully taught by Dr. Michael S. Heiser. In our modern Western world, we frequently skim past the word gods, assuming it refers to empty, psychological idols like wealth or ego, or that it simply means imaginary figments of human superstition. But in the ancient Near Eastern context, the Hebrew word used here is Elohim. David is not singing to thin air. He is standing in the middle of a heavily populated spiritual landscape. He is consciously addressing the lower, rebellious members of the heavenly host, the territorial, fallen principalities who held the disinherited nations under their dark, oppressive jurisdiction. Think about the sheer, holy audacity of King David. He doesn't wait until he is safely insulated inside a private prayer closet to express his gratitude. He walks directly into the cosmic courtroom, looks the rebel Elohim straight in the eyes, and opens his mouth to boast in Yahweh. This is the ultimate act of spiritual polemics. By singing praises before the gods, David is declaring that the rival powers are completely illegitimate. He is mocking their false claims of sovereignty and demonstrating that his allegiance belongs exclusively to the one true Most High God. His worship is a direct, mocking challenge to the principalities of darkness. He reinforces this allegiance in verse 2, mapping out his physical and spiritual alignment. I bow before your holy temple as I praise your name for your unfailing love and faithfulness, for your promises are backed by all the honor of your name. Even if David is physically distant from Jerusalem, perhaps running for his life in the wilderness, or fighting battles on foreign soil, he turns his body and bows toward the holy temple. In cosmic geography, the temple on Mount Zion was the unique, earthly footprint of Yahweh's heavenly throne room. It was the place where heaven and earth intersected. By bowing toward that specific center, David is rejecting the sacred high places of the pagan gods and locking his spiritual compass onto the true capital of the universe. And why is he praising him? For two specific attributes, Hesed and Emet, his unfailing love, and his unshakable faithfulness. David notes that Yahweh's promises are backed by all the honor of his name. In the ancient world, a king's reputation was bound to his word. If a king failed to keep a promise, his name became a laughingstock among the rival nations. But Yahweh's character is flawless. He has staked the entire weight of his eternal reputation on his covenant promises, ensuring that the dark powers cannot find a single legal loophole to defeat his redemptive plans. This cosmic security leads to the intimate, practical reality of verse 3. As soon as I pray, you answer me. You encourage me by giving me strength. The rebel gods were distant, capricious, and demanded frantic, exhaustive rituals before they would ever notice their followers. But Yahweh is immediately accessible. The moment the king calls out from the battlefield, the response from the heavenly throne room is instantaneous. The Creator doesn't necessarily remove the physical trouble immediately, but he floods the internal soul of his servant with a supernatural, muscular encouragement, giving him the precise strength required to stand firm against the onslaught. The second segment is the reclaiming of the disinherited kings. Psalm 138, verses 4, 5, and 6. Every king in all the earth will thank you, Lord, for all of them will hear your words. Yes, they will sing about the Lord's ways, for the glory of the Lord is very great. Though the Lord is great, he cares for the humble, but he keeps his distance from the proud. David transitions his song from his personal, defiant testimony to a grand, prophetic vision of global transformation. Every king in all the earth will thank you, Lord, for all of them will hear your words. Yes, they will sing about the Lord's ways, for the glory of the Lord is very great. To understand the immense scale of this prophecy, we must recall the foundational tragedy of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verses 8 and 9. At the Tower of Babel, because of humanity's persistent rebellion, Yahweh disinherited the nations of the earth. He gave them over to the rule of lesser spiritual beings, choosing the family of Abraham Jacob as his own personal, prized allotment. Ever since that moment, the kings of the earth had been operating under the corrupt, dark inspiration of their territorial, pagan deities. They built empires based on tyranny, slavery, and the worship of the rebel council. But David looks down the timeline of history, and he foresees a total, spectacular global reclamation. He declares that every king in all the earth will eventually turn and thank Yahweh. Why? Because all of them will hear your words. The voice of the true Creator will penetrate the dark spiritual borders of the disinherited nations. The gospel of the kingdom will shatter the monopoly of the false gods. The earthly rulers will abandon their localized, mute idols, and they will actually begin to sing about the ways of Yahweh, acknowledging that his glory is completely unmatched in any dimension of reality. This is the prophecy of the Great Commission, the final, beautiful restoration where the nations are bought back and integrated into the true family of God. David then highlights the unique, stunning character of the true sovereign in verse 6, drawing a sharp contrast with the nature of the false gods. Though the Lord is great, he cares for the humble, but he keeps his distance from the proud. In the ancient Near East, greatness was always equated with aloofness and crushing power. The rebel principalities and the proud human tyrants who acted as their avatars hoarded status. They demanded that the lowliest citizens grovel in the dirt, completely indifferent to the suffering of the weak, but Yahweh completely upends the cosmic status games. Though he is infinitely great, sitting enthroned above the highest heavens, he actively bends down to care for the humble, the broken, the marginalized, and the processing exiles. Conversely, he keeps his distance from the proud. The Hebrew text implies that he recognizes the proud from a great distance, keeping them at arm's length in the courtroom. Arrogance, the hubris of trying to build an autonomous empire without God, is the native sin of the rebel spirits. Yahweh refuses to tolerate that pride, ensuring that those who attempt to exalt themselves are destined to be legally demoted and brought low. The third segment is perfect security inside the storm of chaos. Psalm 138, verses 7 and 8. Though I am surrounded by troubles, you will protect me from the anger of my enemies. You reach out your hand and the power of your right hand saves me. The Lord will work out his plans for my life, for your unfailing love, O Lord, endures forever. Don't abandon me, for you made me. The final stanza brings the psalm back down to the immediate, grueling reality of David's current circumstances. He does not deny the presence of danger. Though I am surrounded by troubles, you will protect me from the anger of my enemies. The word for troubles here carries the visceral meaning of being trapped in a narrow, suffocating bottleneck with walls of stress closing in on every side. The anger of my enemies represents the wild, unmitigated rage of both human adversaries and the unseen spiritual principalities who are frantically attempting to throw David off course. The environment is hostile and the warfare is real. But notice the position of the believer. David is inside the trouble, but he is completely insulated by the presence of God. He writes, "You reach out your hand, and the power of your right hand saves me." In biblical theology, the right hand of Yahweh is the ultimate metaphor for his supreme warrior strength and his executive legal power. The rebel gods may bare their fangs and scream their accusations, but the moment the righteous judge extends his right hand, the power of the enemy is instantly neutralized. The shield of his presence is impenetrable. This absolute protection secures the glorious final guarantee of verse 8. The Lord will work out his plans for my life, for your unfailing love, O Lord, endures forever. Don't abandon me, for you made me. The Hebrew word for workout is gamar, which means to perfectly complete, to bring to full consummation, and to perform flawlessly. David realizes that his life is not a chaotic series of random accidents or the victim of cosmic bad luck. His life is a carefully designed, linear narrative managed by the master architect. Yahweh has a specific, redemptive blueprint for David, and no fallen angel, no corrupt politician, and no dark circumstance can ever disrupt that plan. And what guarantees this completion? Our familiar, beautiful anchor, "For your unfailing love, O Lord, endures forever." The eternal hesed of God is the ultimate safety net of the human soul. David closes with a humble, trusting appeal. Don't abandon me, for you made me. He points to his own status as a creature, reminding the Creator that he is the work of his own hands. A faithful craftsman never abandons his masterpiece half-finished in the workshop. Yahweh will stick with his investment, guiding the footsteps of his servant through every narrow pass until the final victory is completely secured. The fourth segment is Standing Boldly in the Modern Courtroom. Psalm 138, verses 1 through 8, provides us with a magnificent, unyielding shield of truth to protect our minds against the paralyzing anxieties of our modern walk. It teaches us that we do not have to live as timid, defensive victims in a compromised culture. The world around us may operate under the deceptive, proud influence of modern principalities, but we serve the God of gods and the Lord of lords. As you walk your trek today, cultivate the defiant, courageous posture of King David. Do not hide your faith, and do not allow the mocking voices of our society to pressure you into a silent, defeated exile. Grab your harp, lift your voice, and choose to live your life as a loud, continuous song of praise directly before the gods. Your uncompromising worship is a weapon of spiritual warfare that actively pushes back the darkness and enforces the victory of the cross. When you feel completely surrounded by troubles, and the walls of stress are closing in on every side, look to the right hand of your King. Trust that his fierce, fatherly hesed encompasses your life, acting as an impenetrable perimeter defense against the rage of the adversary. Reject the anxious, frantic striving of the culture, and rest deeply in the unshakable truth that the Lord will perfectly complete his plans for your life. He made you, he redeemed you, and he will never, ever abandon the work of his hands. Walk forward with the steady, joyful stride of a king, trusting in the eternal love of your sovereign God today, tomorrow, and across all of eternity. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day, every day. Join me next time for more daily wisdom.